Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show. Another exciting show. And check this out. Another exciting guest. Today, we're going to go into the universe. Let me do something that you guys are familiar with. Space, the final frontiers. These are the voyages of the Andre Enterprise. It took us definitely 5 years to 10 to explore strange new worlds, seek out new civilization, and boldly go where no one has gone before. With that said, we're going to introduce a familiar face. She's coming back 2026 with a bang. And when I say a bang, she took some time off to home in on her craft. You know her as the therapist, but we also know her as Emosin, the one, the only Miss Krista Anderson. What's up, Krista?
Hey, I'm glad to be here with you guys today.
You look great.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what's been going on with you before we get into our guests? What's been going on with you?
Oh, I have been really understanding the need to ground in life because I've become my mother's caregiver in addition to being a clinician. And it's helped me understand frequency and attunement a lot more. So I can really be more present with people in their pain.
Right.
And so we can literally take a deep dive and they can come out with a clear understanding and it doesn't have to take months and months and months.
How was that transition for you? You said something that's crucial. You come back recognizing pain with people. Yeah. What was the revelation that brought that on? The superpower, because we're going to get into that too.
Yes, because it is a superpower when you can sit with somebody in their pain. It literally is. It's not like I didn't know about pain. I mean, I've been a therapist for over 2 decades. I learned how to surf the waves better, if you will. I learned how to do the deep dive and help people turn their own light on when they feel confused or lost. And eventually they realize, oh, I'm the one holding the light. I know how to get out of here, right? So I just learned how to do it more efficiently, and it's with attunement. Most people aren't attuned to each other's emotions. They don't look each other in the eye. They're afraid of what they don't know, and I figured out how to meet people in a place where fear dissipates and love lifts, and they heal faster.
I like the way you said that, and
Thank
people
you.
are going to know more about that by tuning in to your podcast. When is it supposed to air? You plan to launch it? Is it this spring, or what are you shooting for?
This spring would be ideal. That's the goal. So we'll lift it up there.
I like the way that sounds. Now let's talk about this handsome gentleman that's sitting over here. You know, let me give him the proper introduction. Black Film Award at his school. I'm going to call him the Stan Lee of our generation, creating exciting movies, music, and let me go here. He's an entrepreneur, and more importantly, he's a mentor.
Ah, beautiful.
He's a mentor. Let's welcome Mr. Universe himself, Mr. Demetrius Witherspoon. What's up, big dog?
Hey, it is awesome to be here. I appreciate you having me on, and I'm excited about it.
Before we even get started, I was listening to Krista talk about your rings. You got 2 superhero rings on.
These are my company rings. You know, after it's been over a decade with my my company, DV Entertainment Pictures.
Right.
And, you know, just starting from small, watching YouTube to, you know, doing films that are on Apple TV and Amazon and Tubi. So I rewarded myself after the decade of working on films with this company, Ring.
I like the way you said that, how you rewarded yourself. My daughter just got off the phone with me, and she was like, I was telling you that. She's like, Dad, I can't come by today. And she went shopping, and she's like, well, I only spent $80 on some earrings. I said, Cinnamon, don't be afraid to treat yourself.
Hey, you have to, because life is short.
Yeah.
And so you can store up so much money, but, like Denzel said, you can't have you never seen a U-Haul behind a hearse. So you can't take it with you. So you do your best that you can, but you have to enjoy yourself. You work hard enough.
Yeah.
So.
Let's get right down to your beautiful beast mind. Who exactly is Demetrius? Tell me a little story about Demetrius. I know you're not from Indiana. Tell the viewers a little bit about who you are.
So I was born in Louisville, Kentucky, but then we moved to Bardstown, Kentucky. And so me and my family, there's 5 kids and my mom and dad. And so that's where I grew up, in Bardstown, Kentucky, which is now the bourbon capital of Kentucky.
What does that mean, bourbon capital? I know what it means.
Well, a lot of people, they go on those bourbon trails and everything going on through there. But so I grew up there. And eventually moved to Indianapolis. And so I've been here 32 years now.
What brings you to Indianapolis from Kentucky? I mean, it's not that far of a drive for people that don't know. What, about an hour, 30 minutes?
It depends on where you're going.
Yeah, it depends on where you're going. But my beautiful wife brought me here. And so, and plus I wanted to live in a bigger city, and experience all that. So that's what I've done over the decades of being here, from being in a R&B band and jazz, and going from that to films and even DJing.
Let's talk about your journey. Let's talk about the R&B, the musical part, because all of this has a foundation at the end of the day. How did that start for you? Where did music come in?
Well, I mean, back in the day at home, listening to mom, and dad listening to Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson, and different jazz albums and things like that. Lou Rawls, all that happening in the house. So we always enjoyed music, and then Boys II Men came along.
Yeah.
And so that's when me and my brothers found out, hey, we can harmonize together. And so,
Isn't that how we used to start when you got brothers and sisters in the house?
So watching BET and, and Soul Train, all that, factor in. And so, a little bit down the line, years later, then I started to perform with a local band. And Darrell Green, he plays saxophones right here in Indianapolis. And so doing background and lead vocals with that. And I learned a lot from Darrell. He was my mentor, and Darrell Green. And then from there, I started creating my own music and performing at different clubs around town, and open up for Stacey McCracken. They had an all-white party on the canal, and just working with different ones. George Middleton, he plays keyboard, jazz, and stuff, and so I was DJing and doing background and lead vocals with him at different events. So just gradually learning, the business of that. Yeah. And that's where it kind of led into the film. What
did you learn from George? George was just here.
I learned a lot from George.
We had a great time.
Oh, hey, like my first big speakers I bought from George, because he lived in my my housing addition.
Right.
And so he would do private events and things like that, and I would do background and lead vocals with him.
I think a lot of people don't even realize, isn't he a doctor or a therapist?
Yeah.
I had no idea. He was sitting in here and we was talking. I was like, Dude, we was at an event, man. You barely spoke 2 words.
That dude, he's a beast.
Yeah.
He is a beast. And just so talented. I learned a lot from working with him and doing different gigs, and, you know, just all the people that are doing things now. Bashuri Ashad and, you know, Stacy McCracken and stuff like that. So, you know, it's been fun, and just seeing them go on to do what they do now.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And
did you have a sense of direction when you got here and married your wife? In other words, did you really know what you wanted to do?
I just always liked singing and music. That was that was one of my first loves. And so when I got with Darrell Green and his bands, then that's when I really start learning about that. We opening up, I can't remember our first people we opened up for, but it was at Garfield Park, thousands of people in there. And, you know, if I ever did a biopic, that's where I would start.
Really?
Because there's thousands of people there, and you're waiting behind the scenes.
Were you
it's
scared?
Like some kind of movie. Yeah, you're nervous. You're like from a little country boy coming to the big city, and you're about to do this big gig, and you got the drums, you got the bass, So
were you the lead singer?
I was background and lead, but there was another singer with us and everything. So
What kind of question you got? I know you got something you want to ask.
I really like hearing that you just did what you loved, and it morphed. Your life morphed out of what you love, which is what you talk about with I Am Beast, right? And some of the people you've mentioned, I'm like, I know them. I listen to them. I like them.
That's
wonderful.
I think because as artists and creators, that's in you. So anything that's dealing with art, I mean, like, that's why I said it's one of my loves. My first love, other than my mother, it was art, doing paintings and stuff. I always did that during school and everything like that. Shirts, hustled and did shirts for people and everything back in the day. But so, it led into the music, and I feel that all of that, making movies, creating all of that art, that's part of me.
Now, were you doing that at the same time? In other words, were you practicing all these crafts, the drawing, the art, the movie?
I did a little bit of screenwriting, but never really made anything. Okay. Something in high school maybe, but then the music, I didn't really get really serious in that until I came here to Indianapolis and the world opened up, to me.
This is the greatest city in the world. That's why things open up there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you got the Colts, you got,
the Pacers,
hockey,
baseball.
Yeah. And
Final Four, the Carbines is here.
All of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
one of the things I'm fascinated with about what you're saying are all of these creative, artistic things that you do. And there's a pulse that runs in people that live like that. And it's a creative pulse. And it's almost, I don't know about you, but I know with me, it's like there's a zone you get into, and then you come out of it and people are like, say what you just said. What did I just say?
Yeah.
Does that ever happen with you? It's like music. Do you get in the zone?
Yeah, I get in the zone. It wakes me up out of my sleep.
Yes.
Like, especially writing, or I got a story and I got to get up and write it down. And that was the same with music too. I would go into the studio. My wife's like, when you coming to bed? And that's before we even have cell phones. It's like knocking on the door, like, are you coming to bed? I was in there working, doing that, and then get up, go to my full-time job, work with the family. I'd be there for the family, 4 kids, doing that. And then when the kids go to bed, 10, 11 o'clock, I'm in the studio. I was either making music, and then eventually it led into films and writing.
It's like something you have to do. You can't leave it alone.
Yeah.
It knocks on your brain.
It does. It does. And as a creator, when you walk into a situation, that's why I like talking with people and being with people, because you're getting life experience, but also I see movies.
Yeah.
I can't cut it off. when you walked in the room, I seen a movie. When you working on that, it's like, oh, okay, this could be a movie. So that's how my mind thinks. Sometimes I have to cut it off, but it's how it thinks.
You know, that's crazy, because that's exactly how my mind works. I don't sleep.
Yeah.
And people say, how come, you conditioned yourself to work on an operational program, but is that occupational, is that program designed to where you're going to work, like following the system, or is you operating on a system of creativity? I think when you operate on a level of creativity and humanity and trying to elevate purpose, you operate totally different. Sleep isn't a necessity.
It is. That's right. And
I sound like a superhero.
No, it's just true. Because when you talk to somebody else that has it, you're like, oh yeah, that's it, and that feeds you for the next day. Because you like, when I get home after I take care of the family, I'm going back into the studio and I got to finish this or do this, or I took that music along with me that day. That's what I listened to see what I need to improve on. And so, and then doing that and learning how to entertain, that's the other part of that. You might have your music, but then you got to get out there and hustle. You got to get it out there in front of people. Back in the day, CDs, people talk about getting it out of their trunk and selling it. Well, I was doing that, or went to the mall, Castleton Mall. I would walk that whole mall with my kids and have them pass out CDs. Hey, we're going to do this. And, my first CD show, or my first show was at the Madam Walker.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was just, I'll never forget it, because that's before they had air conditioning. And and it got hot up in that mug with, over 600 people there. So, yeah, it's just part of you.
When did the shift change for you?
Let
me rephrase this. Let me rephrase it. Let me get a download here. Not so much a shift change, because I think when you have enlightened to a degree that you have, you don't really change so much. You kind of pivot to collaborate both things. But clearly, we all have a superpower. That music part might have been the Robin part of your life. This is the Batman part. Does that make any sense now?
Yeah. So it is pivoting, and life be happening, and I think at the time I had lost my job and I was going to another job or what have you, but this is what I wanted to do. So I was doing the music, and that's when technology started to change, where you could do it yourself. I didn't know the people that I know now to do it. I just knew, hey, I'm watching YouTube. Some of these people are making their own independent little films and stuff. What do I need to do? Because YouTube University was real for me. And so, so I was performing one night, and I was just like, okay, my next song, I need a music video, and I want to shoot it myself. So I borrowed some money from my brother to get a Canon 60D camera.
That camera sounds familiar.
Yeah. Got to start somewhere. And I shot 3 music videos in a week.
Wow.
And with that money, and people's reaction and way things turned out, like different restaurants and places in Broad Ripple let me film in there, just going in, asking, and letting them know what I wanted to do and things. And so those yeses, inspired me, and I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do. I always kind of like film. I kind of skipped over some things. we were movie buffs as a family, $2 a day movies for all 5 kids. We went to movies because we didn't have a lot to do in that town, the small town. And so fast forward to now, I'm able to make films and maybe get my story out that I always liked. Because I like Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, Farscape, all those different things. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make a movie. And so one of the artists that were at one of my last shows, I asked her if she wanted to be in it. Then some of my family was in it. I had my daughter holding a boom mic and everything. And I was like, I had this idea of this lady that was pregnant that was running down this alleyway with some men in black kind of like guys after her. And it turned into, okay, well, what if she was in that situation and was thrown into another world or multiverse where she has to find her way out and fight for a child? Wow. And so from that little piece, that's when I start building without, help from a lot of other people. I started building that, filming that.
Now, let me go here. And what I try to do with this platform is to take people, to meet people where they're at, so to speak, before they jump into the universe. Most people in your position, when you talked about losing your job, they wouldn't have been focused as heavily on purpose. How did you transition to that? Because a lot of people can't get that out of their mind. If they lose their job, they will either commit suicide, go crazy, beat somebody up. They don't have let me say the right word. It's difficult for them to shift and think outside. Their life depends on that survival mechanism.
And the fear mode.
Yeah.
They don't know how to get
Were
out
you
of that.
fearful?
Of course I was. I was a family man. I had 4 kids at this time. And so it's like, well, what I was looking at was if I got the equipment, like I shot the videos and everything, but if I got the equipment, I could do weddings. I can do fashion shows, and even work with Pink Forever, the Cancer Foundation. A lot of their fashion shows and things that they did to raise money, I started out kind of filming those, and I even shot a commercial for them that ran on TV, Channel 13 and stuff. So
you was able to think outside the box.
Think outside the box.
Yeah.
So I knew that those were the things I kind of wanted to do, and eventually got into the movie thing. So what I did to help support, because you got to take care of your family, you got to eat. So I found a part-time job servicing restrooms and putting little air fresheners in them. And it was all over Indiana. And so that helped me because I could go in anytime to do that. That helped me build my production company.
You need to say that again. I just literally told somebody the other day, they was on the show, and they were crying, and they was, I'm going to call it stuck in the system. I got to go to work. I got to go to work. I want to have my business, but I don't know how to do it. I said, you ever thought about just taking the money that you're working for and investing in yourself a little bit at a time and make it grow? My question is, I'm going to bring the therapist on this part. Why can't people think outside the box on that? It doesn't seem like it's a hard thing to do. If I'm working here and I don't like my situation and I like to make movies, do like you did. What do I need to make the movie? Well, I need money to buy the camera, so I got a job. I go buy the cameras, take the cameras and go shoot some film, and eventually wing yourself out of that situation into a purpose situation. What's your take on that?
You're in fight, flight, or freeze mode. The part of your brain that you need to use to be creative, your prefrontal cortex, is offline. You're literally operating from an animalian space of the bear is chasing me. I'm going to die, you know. And people like you that are able to stay heart-based, to where your brain and heart are functioning together, that it's almost like you. This is going to sound kind of cheesy, but like you hear things in the wind. People just kind of pass you up, and it seems like a coincidence, but it isn't. I mean, pass you by. I mean, and you're like, hey, I think we could connect here. You know, I think I see something here. Like you said, I see everything is like a movie. You know, and that keeps your brain functioning in a calm, focused way, so that you're not constantly in that fear-based place. Yes, there is fear, but you used it as well, like these Olympians did, these ski jumpers. These right as you get ready to go, you've got stress, but it's I'm going for this. I'm trained. I'm ready. So you knew you were trained and ready. And I think sometimes people don't know. They get so focused in a rut on what they're doing. They don't know how to think about doing anything else. And you just have a breadth of talent.
Well, you know, thank you. Thank you. I think it's a combination of that, but also the way people are brought up and who they're surrounded by, too. I was surrounded by entrepreneurs. Like I said, my mentor was Darrell Green. He had a company, drywall business, but he was doing his music, using his skills, but also then having a music company. So it was the people that I was surrounded by that kind of helped me see, you know, hey, what, we can do a job to make the money, take care of the family, but also build as I'm doing that. And even when I eventually had to do a full-time job as well, because you got to survive some kind of way, especially when you got a family. You got to take care of your kids and everything. So, you know, I had that basis, but still I'm building on top of that. But what helped me was starting, like I said, when I was doing the part-time and building, because my business. Because by the time the pandemic really hit, everything that I built before that, it was all coming back to me. People remembered what I did and stuff like, hey, can you come on to this? Or that's when I started doing more conventions, bigger at Comic-Cons, being guests and things, because I put in the work earlier and I didn't stop. I kept going. And, you know, there's something in you to do that, but you have to be around other people. You have to surround yourself with people that know more than you.
Community is important.
Yeah, it's so
community.
It's
You can't
so
do
important.
it without community.
Yeah. And so that's why I try to let younger people and people that they have something, they want to get it out. They creatively, they want to, you know, get it out there. You have to surround yourself with other people that, like you say, a community, but that knows more than you. Because that when you're down, you're able to reach out to them and say, hey, you know what? They're there to kind of help inspire you again to keep going. And so, yeah.
We know what your superpower is. What was your kryptonite?
I don't think we can talk about that. I plead the fifth. No, I think everybody has weaknesses and things like that, or struggles and things you got to get past to get to the next level, especially when you're building a path that your family or anybody that you know hasn't built. Even though my buddy did music, he hadn't been in the movie range. I had to figure out, and like you were saying about your equipment and all that kind of stuff, I had to figure out what's working, what's not. And it's all about the experiences that you've gotten along the way. Mm-hmm. I took the R&B, getting bands together and all that, and then DJing, and all of that filters into me making film. You know, show must go on. be ready.
Yeah.
You know, when you're a singer, especially back in the day, you had to have your you had to have your picture, you had to have your CD or your tape ready, you know, because you never know who's going to be you're going to meet. And so taking that same skills and determination into the film, there wasn't anybody doing that in the area I was doing.
So you think your kryptonite is people not showing up when they need to show up? Or you basically having to take the bull by the horn?
Take the bull by the horns.
You didn't have any examples ahead of you. You were creating something original and unique.
Right, especially with film, because I didn't, it was maybe 3 years before I met the film community, who's doing what, and the IFN, the Indiana Film Network, and seeing, oh, there's other pockets, there's other people that are doing films. There's people that's worked on Jurassic Park that are here, but they just fly out to LA, or they, fly out wherever they need to go, working on Star Wars and things like that. But they live right here in Indiana.
What was the difficult part about getting into that sector? Because you're coming in that's blind,
I would say, like, first, because you got to start somewhere. You get people that want to be actors, but they're not ready. You have the mindset, I'm going George Lucas on this thing, and they're like, oh, what we're doing this weekend? Oh, it's too cold, I'm not showing up, but I'm ready.
Yeah.
So those are some of the hurdles I had to get over, working with people. But you kind of get past that, because I come from, working with bands and stuff. I had a band cut out on me because they didn't feel out. They wanted to add a guitarist to the band. It's like, I'm the leader of the band. No, we don't need a guitarist. Well, you don't need. Well, I fired all of them because they wasn't listening to what I wanted, and we was doing good. Hired another band. They learned the whole set hours before we had to play at the club, and when I came in, the owner's like, how did you get this band? I've been wanting this band in here for a long time.
Yeah.
They kill it every time they do stuff. How did you get? I was like, I just, I met them, I networked with them, and we killed it. And so learning from that is that the show is not over. It's going to go on. That person was good, but there's somebody better out there.
Wow.
And you have to keep moving, and you learn that.
It's like you keep tuning yourself to the right people.
Yeah.
It's like tuning an instrument.
Yeah.
Let's go here. Let's talk about the creation of the submerged universe. And this is funny. When I first started this universe, I'm gonna call it what it is, my universe, I had no idea of the people that I've been in contact with. I went back and looked, over 1,000 guests in a 5-year. We're celebrating our 5-year anniversary this year, and everybody that's been in this studio, I have a connection with them some kind of way. And I'm really big on the universe. I'm a Marvel fanatic, but I'm not ignorant to how Marvel got its tradition. I know where Stan Lee got the storybook to all of the superheroes. We know.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I don't want to knock somebody's stuff, but you know where I'm going. He created a great enterprise, lucrative enterprise. I'm seeing you do the same thing, but more authentic, more truth-based, more spiritual-based, without the bullshit. How did all this come about? Like, who was your inspiration to want to create your own universe, and why your universe? And why the 60s?
The 60s. I would say, like I said, growing up with George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, grew up on those kind of movies, Indiana Jones and all that. And um, so with that inspiration, and also I would watch, after watching a movie, I will watch all the behind the scenes because that's what's going on the set. Oh, they're doing this and they're doing that. That's why I would get a DVD or even if the VHS had it, I would want to see the behind the scenes. So that inspired me. So I always wanted to do that. And so that's why I just started writing it and then went out and did it. And once I finally got into with other filmmakers and things, and people always say, well, your first film is usually crap, because you gotta start somewhere.
Are you making, so the viewers can understand, a film is over 30 minutes, correct?
Okay, so
because there's a short.
Yeah, there's shorts. So anything less than 45 minutes or 50, is a short. But anything over that,
anything over 50 is a feature length.
Yeah.
Film. Okay.
So what I did, I started doing shorts. So my shorts were running about 22 to 30 minutes. And so once I made the one, it's like, well, I'm going to stay in this universe because I want to finish this story. And so I did the next one. And then when I start getting into film festivals and stuff, I started learning about building story worlds and things like that. Because I had never been to like Gen Con and Comic Cons and stuff. I seen them on TV. Yeah. I was watching it like everybody else. Look at those people just dressing up, like Star Wars and blah, 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 and then I got into that world. I was like, okay, this is, it helped, it helped me start to figure out how to build my world better.
Right.
And so then, seeing cosplayers dress up but they had their own trading cards. So I'm asking myself, what can I do that's like Marvel, but on my level? Yeah. Well, I can make trading cards. I can do that. My next film, I can make sure that it's linked to the other one. And so I just kept going. And so by the time in my series, the Submerged Universe series, the first one probably had about 10 people. By the time I was on my third one, we had close to 30. And then we had Katie O'Brien from Star Wars and Bishop Stevens. They were from Walking Dead and Star Wars and Empire. They were on my third film. And by the time I got to my fourth one, we probably had like 50 people and 2 film crews going. So just building and trying to go to that next level each time.
Tell me about the universe. I want to be a part of your world.
So Submerged Universe, again, like I said, is a lady that gets experimented on to be a super soldier, but she gets thrown into another world. And she has to find her way out and fight for her child. And so I've kind of gradually built over its 5 live action films and an animated pilot, which a fan actually I helped produce. A fan liked what I did from a con, and I helped her produce that, and we won awards over in India.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. And just continuing to build a universe. So it went into the comics. I got novelization, got a card game based off of the universe. And now I'm working on the new Submerged Universe, Finney's Adventures, which I wanted something for the younger kids to get into, that they could learn life lessons, like we used to do, watching different cartoons and things. And I wanted to do that. And so that's what I'm working on now. And then I have another live action film that we're going to do within the universe, Submerged
You know, this is a question. I'm getting the download here because I'm seeing your universe, right? So the girl and the mother, I'm thinking like the Doctor Strange multi-universe, right? So without giving away, is the girl, does the girl change? Does she keep growing older in her universe? You know, because each universe has different actions going on. So she's going after her daughter, but let's get real. Does she have to go back to a particular universe? Will her daughter age? You get what I'm saying? I'm thinking like you now.
So you will have to watch the films to know what happens. You know, it does gradually grow. You have to.
Yeah.
And so we do see that growth.
Okay.
And so it's been fun to have a young actress to I got a older actress, Grace Carlton, who she formerly was the daughter and things like that. And so, yeah, it's been building over the years.
Where do you see the universe going? Like, is it going to be like a saga, like the Star Wars, like the Star Treks? You know,
yeah,
because you can build. This is endless. This is your world.
It's my universe, my IP. I do see or know where it's going to end, but there's so many different facets that it can go into, which I've already kind of planned out. And so I'm just going to keep building. And as long as people are enjoying it, then, you know, why not keep in that universe? Because for one thing, it makes me happy.
Right.
But it's even, I get more excited when other people are inspired by it.
Right.
And I've done it long enough to be able to see other people inspired by it and show people, young people, even of color, that this can be done. You know, I don't have a lot of money, and it's a collaboration, you know, with other filmmakers, other people. It's a team effort. So that it can be done.
What's the most difficult part of your journey? You got awarded and recognized by being a black filmmaker, but what are some of those hurdles that you had to overcome? You know, everybody's now opening the door for black filmmakers.
Yeah, I mean, there's always obstacles, especially as an entrepreneur or anything that you're into as a man or woman, or, you know, anybody that's trying to move forward. There's different obstacles, you know, and mine have not been real major. I think, you know, money, of course, is always part of it. But I do enough to be able to get through, to get my vision out. You know, sometimes I don't, it's an obstacle and I figure out a way to get around it. Hey, I'm not going to be able to do it that way, but I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah.
And then when I look back, it's like, oh man, we did. That's how we got that done, you know, and I'm able to tell that to others. Look, this is what you could probably do, you know, because this is how we did it. And, you know, this one thing.
What do you think is the handicap with movie producers? And let me go here for a minute. We just saw the two actors go on stage to get an award. And I'm thinking to myself, we as minorities bust our ass to get accepted in a community that really don't want to recognize us. That was evident when the Tourette guy yelled the magic word.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate to say this. At the end of the day, it seems like no matter what we accomplish, we run into an obstacle of either we have our own people that hate us and keeps the crab in the bucket syndrome going, or we're still just a in the face of adversity with people who basically have the keys and the gatekeepers. What's your take on that, especially being in this industry and seeing what you just saw on TV?
You have to build your own lane. And when you build your own lane, there's nobody else in it except
you. Say that again, because I say that all the time.
You have to build your own lane.
And you determine who comes in.
And you determine who comes in. If I have my hand out to other people, then, I got to wait on them, which sometimes you have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've built this. And so would you like to ride this train with me? And not ride it, but also help me push. Some people get on the train, they're not helping, they're riding. And you don't need that. As you're trying to move ahead, you're trying to help everybody out as much as you can, but you
gotta be leery.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. So I say build your own lane. And you might look at other people that are doing different things or what have you, but they're looking at you like, how are they doing that?
Yeah.
But you're like, oh my God, is this working or whatever? Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of build your lane. And I've seen it. Things will start to come to you. I've had my talks with Disney. A Disney director reached out to me, and we've been talking for a while, and he's like, well, why don't you bring that to Disney?
Yeah.
And so, being able to talk to executives at Disney about my universe, I tried to, it was an amazing experience to learn from, but also I went in knowing like, this is going to happen with you or without you. And that kind of helped if something didn't work out, and you just never know.
It's like, do you give them the keys and take your baby, your vision?
That's the thing.
And put the rules and regulations?
You got to figure that out.
It looks to me like true talent transcends ignorance. That's what I'm seeing. True talent, true inspired talent transcends ignorance.
Yeah.
And it ends up overriding it and letting it, dissipating it. Because
you got to keep moving.
You were talking about the kids that you inspire, the people that you inspire. That's got to come back to you 100-fold and keep you wanting to go forward.
It does.
I like what you just said, and I think a lot of people need to realize that. I had the same situation when we first started this in Starbucks. My buddy reached out to Starbucks, and they was interested in backing everything. And to most people, they'd be like, man, I would have took that money. I said, you got to see the bigger picture. That wasn't part of my universe. I said, because I had to look at the motives. We wasn't ready, first of all. I wasn't ready. And then more importantly, they will control my narrative. I can't be me. They're going to tell me, they got to protect their brand. So in exchange for that money, they get to tell me what to do.
Right.
I like the way you say you keeping your universe to yourself, and you're going to determine who gets in the car with you.
Yeah, and it's a hard thing, especially when you have nobody that's been in that position that's close to you.
Right.
The other thing that kind of helped, I as a filmmaker and a creator, I do my research, documentaries or actors on actors or directors on directors, because a lot of times they're dealing with the same thing we are, but they just have a little bit more money.
Money makes a difference.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
It makes it comfortable to navigate.
Yeah, and then they say, that's still not enough, what they really want to do. But from those things, that kind of helped me kind of figure, because some people's been in that situation where they've met with different bigger companies that wanted to buy this or do that, and if they did or if they didn't, something else was going to come. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I learned a lot from that. But yeah, moving and keep moving and doing what I do because people see it. I've talked to people from Marvel and different places. They like, we love your marketing. We love what you're doing.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah. So
it's less work for them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the mentors. Let's talk about Darrell Miller.
Yeah.
Rapper now coming out with the new book, R and K Nation. He didn't do nothing but speak your praise. It was like, Dre, he's my mentor, How does it make you feel knowing that, I've heard his story. He was just here, great guy, the tragic loss of two of his brothers. And how did you step in and chisel away to make him the way he is? Because you definitely inspired him.
Well, I mean, a lot of it he was already doing. It's just you see a part of yourself in that person. It's like, oh, okay. So all you need is a little bit more of this, or once you come over this way a little bit, and people had to do it for me.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't I give it back? If I see somebody working that's hard like I am, and they have a good heart, you can tell it. They love people. They, love giving back to their community. So why wouldn't I, pay that back, give that back forward? So it's been a honor and humbling to see him continue to do what he does. Again, he's in his own lane.
Yeah,
and he's doing his thing.
Let's talk about somebody else that we got a mutual friend, Mr. Score himself.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, Rob, he again, social media is king.
Yeah.
A lot of things I wouldn't even be able to know, or this Disney thing, whatever, that wouldn't happen if I didn't have social media and, networking and connecting with folks. And so, it was some kind of way I got tied into what he was doing at the time. And he was, doing music and stuff over in Dubai and stuff like that. And I think he was like, hey, I would like to do some music for people, hit me up. And I hit him up. And
did you know who he was prior to hitting him up?
I did not.
Really?
I did not everything. No, I did not know about the Grammys and all of that.
Oh, he didn't give you a tour of the wall?
No, and usually you go down the rabbit hole of seeing who people are.
Yeah.
But it's just like we was just having a normal chat, and he was eating chicken and just talking and we just having a normal conversation. And so that's how I got my logo intro music. He scored that for me.
When you realized who he was, you probably went like, because Rob has some major scores.
Oh, he does. He's doing stuff for BET and for different shows on BET. He's scoring the whole season.
Matter of fact, I need to reach out to him for season 5 for me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I got the greatest man right there. I ain't at my fingertips.
Yeah, he's just a beast, and he does amazing things, and he's very encouraging too. And so it's just different people like that you're able to connect with that inspire you to keep going on, because what they've done. Like, one of my mentors has done Spider-Man and the 90s animation. And, to be able to talk to him, because he's talked to Stan Lee, he's done those different things, and we wouldn't have a Spider Universe without him. And so to be able to have those kind of mentors to be able to talk to, they really help.
Before we wrap up, first of all, allow me to say thank you, and definitely for Darrell for introducing us and allowing me to come into your world. It's just amazing how I tell people we all are connected, vibrational connected, and eventually we're going to cross paths. I'm getting a download. What's in store for your universe? What do you want to see happen to this universe? Speak it into existence.
Well, there's a larger film in the universe that I want to do, and we was going to do it right after my 5th film, but my lead actress, she had passed away in a car wreck.
Sorry.
And so, that kind of changed some things and the directions I was going to go. And so I still want to get back to that. So it's a feature-length film that I want to do. But right now, the animated series, Submerged Universe, Finney's Adventures, the kids series is 6 episodes. We're working on now, and then Submerge Fragments, which has a kind of 60s kind of theme to it, sci-fi. I love Twilight Zone and all those kind of films and stuff.
Wait a minute.
That.
What's your favorite Twilight?
Oh man,
is it the one with the dude that wants to read the books and all of a sudden?
Well, I like that one, but the one where the lady wakes up and her face is covered, and everybody thinks she's deformed, but they're actually got the weird faces, and her face is just normal.
Really, I don't remember that.
Oh
one.
Yeah, check that one out. Now I should know it by heart what the name is, but it's not coming to mind. But yeah.
The 60s. Let me ask another question, because I'm getting a lot of downloads here. Does any of these have superhero like powers, or do they absorb? Or is it more? I know you can't give everything away, but in some of these universes, do people have like superhero like powers?
Well, I mean, I come from you. If you think Stargate Atlantis and Farscape, Battlestar Galactica, even in space, and if you're dealing with nanites, and people are going to get some kind of powers. And so,
I'm making you give us some.
No, that's not everything, but those things inspire me. So when you watch that, you kind of see the progression of the characters and things, and where I want to go next. I got other places I want to go. So between the films and the comics, because I got other comics I want to do in the universe, and I work with artists from the Philippines and Venezuela.
What do we have in common with them? You mentioned a global connection, and like I said before, we all are connected. What have you learned similarities with their culture, our culture, and what do they want to get from our culture? Because when people hear United States, they go, "Oh my God!" But they don't understand the propaganda that's associated with the United States. Tell me about that real quick. What's that like?
Art and being creative people transcends.
Wow.
It transcends whatever race you are. Music speaks to all of us. And so with all of that, even if the English is broken, we are able to communicate. And when I work with people, I'm not going to stand over you. I'm an artist myself. I want to see what you bring to the table. And so it's a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
And to this very day, so their stuff is on everything. When I set up at my booths at PopCon or Gen Con or any of the Comic Cons, their art is being represented. So I I don't take what I do lightly. I carry legacies with me, other
Wow.
people's legacies,
That's beautiful.
and that's it is. And I'm not flaunting. I'm serious. There are there are people's legacies in what I've done because we've collaborated. That either they're not here anymore, or you know we've collaborated, and now other people can be inspired by their work. So
I can feel your vibration. that hit you home when you said other people's
yeah,
in these journeys.
it's it's amazing, and to see other people respond to certain things. Sometimes I'll drop a tear while I'm there talking. I'm signing an autograph to somebody because I know uh, I know what went into this, and if this person was still here, that they would enjoy hearing that person talk
Mm-hmm.
about what they liked about the story. That's why, you know, I I can't really critique anybody on their story because you don't know who that's going to touch. That might not be my thing, you know, but that your story or your music is going to hit somebody out there, because there's too many of us humans on earth. It's going to reach somebody. You just got to keep going. You're going to find your people. And so so those are the things I think about when I'm talking to people, doing panels, or doing Comic Cons, showing people my work. It's not just about making money or what have you, but it's about connecting with those people and knowing that I'm carrying other people's legacies with me.
I love the way you
That's
said
beautiful.
that. Yeah. This would be my first year I got invited to come to Comic Con. I'm nervous.
Oh, okay.
I seen it, and I'm like, okay, what do I bring to the table? You know, with an event that's been around for quite some time, and the people that are, that are diehard fans. I'm a comic book fan. Don't get me wrong, but to be invited to an event like this, when you first went, I gotta ask you, what was that like for you when you first went?
Oh, it was kind of overwhelming a little bit. I was like, wow, we're really doing this.
Yeah.
And for like Gen Con, my way in was the film festival. So a lot of people don't know. It's so big now that it's in Lucas Oil Stadium and the Indiana Convention Center. It's in the hotels as well. There's other things going on. So there's a film festival that's been running over a decade.
Yeah.
There. And there's people that are coming in from Puerto Rico, from all over the world, to the film festival.
Yeah.
That's happening. So that inspired me. But then when I start to do booths, then I'm meeting face to face with people, and even if they didn't buy anything, we had a conversation. And maybe next year or 2 years later, oh, you were I want to get your film, or I bought your comic book 2 years ago. I got to get into the films now. So those kind of connections, it's like, as long as you keep pushing, things are going to happen.
I'm excited. Now, before we wrap up, how can the viewers reach out to you?
You can go to Submerge Universe on all platforms. That's Submerge Universe. And the name of my company is D like in David, V like in Victor, DV Entertainment Pictures. And that's on all platforms as well. And you can check out all my films on Submerge Universe TV. I have my own streaming service. And
congratulations!
Well,
I'm definitely getting on your. I'm definitely going to your universe.
Yeah, you can check it out there, and also have films on Amazon Prime, Tubi, and Apple TV.
You know what, man? Congratulations! I think it's beautiful. I am truly blessed to have you grace my stage and bring your universe to my universe. I'm overwhelmed.
Well, thank you. It's a blessing to be here, because you've created a platform for the community to come and inspire others.
Yeah.
And so, hats off to you, man.
Man, them Superman rings is killing me.
It's been a pleasure for me to sit with you, too. It's an honor to meet you. Thank
too.
you. I'm inspired in ways that I couldn't have been otherwise, so thank you.
So before we wrap up, let's talk with you a little bit.
Okay.
Krista Anderson.
Yes, sir.
Tell the viewers a little bit about your podcast. It's about to launch this summer. No, this spring. I don't want to delay that. This spring.
It'll happen when it needs to happen, right? So what's different about what I do is people will leave changed. It's not. I'm trained in traditional therapy, but I'm more about creating a frequency change in people. Just like
when you say frequency change, what is that like?
It's like your nervous system actually lights up, and you start to understand things more. You start to realize that you don't have to cater to other people's expectations of you, and your dreams start to come alive.
Did you light up when Demetrius was talking?
Yeah, that's why I said thank you. I've been inspired in ways I wouldn't have otherwise. Yeah.
Let me ask Demetrius, you got any questions you want to ask the beautiful Miss Krista Anderson?
Will I be able to be on your show sometime?
Absolutely. Sure. We'll create a character.
Yeah.
Hey, we can do that.
Well, it's
I know a guy.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting what you're talking about as I'm listening to you creating your stories. I think of stories too, but emotion, like in my healing process in my life, I have to honor like native healing traditions, because the word emotion actually came to me doing a native sweat that I had the honor of being invited to. And I literally heard emotion and then trademark it. And so that's what I did. And it's taken its own life. It's growing. It's a way that I live. And it's helping me be more grounded, and in me being more grounded, my clients, the people with whom I work, are more grounded. I'm speaking with more clarity, but a lot of that too has to do you remember that story, the rabbit not wanting to be thrown in the briar patch, and they did throw him in the briar patch because that's where he was home, was safe.
Yeah.
That's kind of like me going back and taking care of my mother, because quite frankly we had a difficult relationship, but I always loved her. But I'm back in the briar patch, and it is turning into a beautiful aromatic rose bush.
Really?
Yeah. So when you go home, when you go to the places that you avoid, they will continue to be a thorn in your side until you enter it fully. Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. Hey, guys, I want you to make sure that you subscribe, like, share, follow. Make sure you be a part of the, let's call it what it is, the submerged universe. Make sure that you listen for the upcoming new podcast. What's the name of it again?
Emotion in the Wild.
Emotion in the Wild. Man, we got to get that up, because that even sounds good to me. Emotion in the Wild. Make sure you like, subscribe, click the button. All it takes is one click to make a difference in somebody's life or to change your own. This has been another, and I do mean another, exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show.